Hi, crafters. Today I'm coming on and I will start off from the get go. I'm sorry for my hairdo, but I messed around with it and it doesn't want to cooperate. Whatever. It's about what I found out in the last 2, 3, 4 days. Um, I think I do not have to make it a secret. Well, sometimes it's hard for me to tell you everything that is happening. And it's not that I don't want to tell, but it's purely I want to be respectful to the people that I design for. I'm going to do my very best to do not call any names because it happens to multiple of them. But as you know, over the last couple of months, a lot of designs that I make for the sellers that I work for, and if you want to know them all, I have listed them in the description box below. I sell dies myself in my Etsy shop, and I design dies and stencils for other companies. Hi, Jos. Hi, Anke. Hi, sweetie. So, what I found out is um, a lot. And in my head, I'm trying to figure out what to start with. Well, a few months ago, one of the sellers came to me and said to me, "Well, Nicole, how is it possible that they are selling my dice on AliExpress, Temu, Shine?" And I said to them, "I have absolutely no idea. But as you know, there are mean people in this world that think that I'm reselling designs and trying to make me or blame me for doing that." And then I told, and this is keeping a very long story short. I debated for 3 days now to make this video, and I had something like, I need to get this off my chest to the good people, but also to the people that even think I would go and resell. And I had something like, if people accuse me of things, I'm in a state like, how can I prove that it's not me? That would be, think this in a logic way. If I would resell a design that I sold to a seller to some random AliExpress seller or Temu seller or Shine seller or whatever, that would be digging the biggest grave for myself as you can think of. So I had something like, I know it's not me, but how are they doing this stuff? Over the last couple of months, you must have noticed that some sellers hide the dies behind the sticker or turn them around so you only see the backside. Other sellers do it in another way, uh, only making a picture on an angle, and that all is trying to prevent of Etsy, Temu, no, not Etsy, sorry, Temu, AliExpress, Shine sellers to not steal designs. Because if they have a front-facing picture of a die, even if it's in a video and it's only 1 second that they hold it upright, they are able to steal that design. Then I had with two AliExpress sellers of mine that I design for or have designed for. I figured out that sometimes it's the coworker that only needs a USB stick, plug it in a computer where all the designs are on, steals them, goes over to another factory and buys him or herself in. That happens, and I have proof of that. Another seller discovered and he told me the story, but I forgot because there is so many stuff in my head that I want to tell you guys. So yesterday I spoke, and this time I will say a name so you know that my source is legit and trustworthy. I spoke to the owner of KS Craft and I told him like how is this possible? Are they doing this? And he was, and I have to be honest, I was noticing that they bought less new designs from me. And so with those two questions, I went over to the owner and we chatted. And then I found things out about Timu that I was absolutely in shock about. I never know, and I don't know why they never speak about it because my maybe it's my honesty and it's not to pat myself on the back. That's not why I'm saying this like this, but I just don't know the right way to say it in English. So forgive me for that. But they Timu is trying to take over AliExpress and they force sellers on there, no matter what they sell, uh, to sell it at the lowest possible cost. But that also means that they only make a tiny profit that I had something like, oh my God. I will read what he told me so I have the exact words. And I think it will shock a lot of you. And it will all make sense after I'm done telling you what I have to say. So he says Timu is a really something so bad. And that's the quoted words from the case craft seller. And I'm working with him for 8, 9 years now. So I know his words are true. They offer low prices to buyer and make profit by fining sellers. If a seller gets a bad review, a customer from a customer, they will be fined 5 times the product price. So let's say you buy a die for $3 on Temu and you did not read or whatever, because trust me, that happens in my Etsy shop too. I try to quote, please read description box before you buy, and still I get people up until this day that don't read the description box, so they don't know what they are buying. And I had it happen to me too when I bought a certain die, expected to be large and it's small, or vice versa. So that to the side. So they will be fined 5 times of the product price, and the bad review maybe like buyer don't like it. Oh, and the bad review is maybe the buyer don't like it, product not as expected, etc. But there are so many people there. Resellers have to open a store, otherwise we will have no earnings at all, because selling their sellings on AliExpress are getting lower and lower. So then he talked about what the profit margin they have on Temu. The difference for their profit margins that Temu let them have is only 1 to 2 RBM. I converted that and I was like, do I do this correct way? That's only 14 cents per die. That's like absolutely nothing. All the effort of making the design, producing it, shipping it over to Temu, packaging it up, making the listing, taking care of your order that it's wrapped, and then only a profit of 14 cents. And if, like, let's say I'm buying a die of Timu and I did not read and I give them like a bad review, they will have to pay the product price 5 times to Temu. So for Temu, it's like a win-win situation, because if the seller on Temu sells a product, Temu gets a share of it, but they hope that, I guess, that's what I guess. That's, sorry if uh, but if they get a bad review, they can take 5 times the money of the total die set. I had something like, oh my goodness, so little profit. And so then I asked him the question, but I also noticed you buy less designs from me. And he said, yeah, but if I have to calculate in that price your design fees, I have to sell 300 to 600 to make at least a few dollars profit. And I had something like, yeah, I totally understand. And so what I want to say with this video is, please, if you buy a cutting die, do me a favor, buy them on AliExpress or at the seller's shop themselves. I know it's more money, it costs more money, but if this continues, and I have to be straightforward, we will all be out of a job. Chaos Craft will stop. I have to stop because they don't buy new designs from me anymore. And like all the others, like Erica, like Anna, like Scrappy Boy Stamps, and the new one that I now designed for, Kindred Stamps, I wanted to reveal that with a lot of fun and happy video. But yeah, after I discovered this yesterday, I had something like, I want you guys to know. So you could make a legit consideration where you buy your cutting dies, because 10 cents profit is absolutely not a margin. Normally, when I buy dies and I sell them myself, about 25 to 30% of the price, and I'm open about it, is profit. But in that profit is a lot of time for me to design the die, to let them be produced, thinking of what you guys would want, having the risk of them not selling. And you have, business is business, so you have to calculate that in. So even if I would give you 10% discount, that would mean that I only have like 15% profit left. So, and with that profit, that makes it possible for me to stay home to do this, what I started off doing, to stop AliExpress sellers stealing designs. That's why I started selling my designs to AliExpress sellers, so they would have legit, not stolen designs. But there was one thing that still bugged me a lot. And I spoke to my manufacturer that produces the dies that I design and sell myself in my Etsy shop. I I was talking to him, and please excuse me because he speaks. Yeah, I do not speak greatly English. I do not talk English very well. See, I mess up sentences, but he is 50% less so than good at it as I am. And with all respect, he knows it and he says it and we joke about it. So I know I don't offend him with this. But I talked to another person in China and I said, but how are they able to do this all? How is it possible that sometimes one of my sellers released something and it's available on there the same day on AliExpress, on Temu. How on earth is that possible? Because normally it takes 5 to 7 work days for them to produce a dye. And then he told me that something that totally shocked me. Sorry, I need to take a sip of my drink. Well, he said it as followed. I'm not in China. I can't check, so I have to go by what he says, and I have a lot of trust in what he says. And you can only build up trust if you know what I mean. He says what they do is they wait for that particular seller, and trust me, it happens to all of them, to upload a video, a little reel, an Instagram post, a TikTok post, whatever you can think of. And they make a print screen of the part where they show the dye. Even if it has a sticker on it, even if it has like only put on an angle, because that's another seller of mine that does them only on an angle to make it harder to copy them. And they only put those pictures in the shop hoping one of us is going to buy that die set. And I said, okay, it sounds logic, but how are they able to steal the design? And then he said to me, okay, what they do is as soon as they get a sale, they put some co-worker on the job to find a picture of it. Even the finished product picture is very helpful. And then they, in a few hours time, will copy the design. And so the design will not be exactly 100% similar. That's a hard word for me to pronounce, to the original one, but close enough to let it go through, if you know what I mean with that. Make it seem like it's a pure copy of the original one. So then yesterday I had something like, okay, let me double check if it's exactly the same. But if I want to double check, I have to buy a copy. And that's something I absolutely do not want to do. And that's purely out of, how do you say that? Oh, I can't think of the word. Um, oh, how do you say that in English? I just don't want to give them my money and make them feel happy about the sale, the new sale they make. Oh, I know the word in Dutch, but I'm having a hard time to describe what I mean. I just don't want to give them my money, and to me that feels like I'm patting them on the back while they are putting me out of business. It is what it is. So for all the people that buy my designs, please buy them in the shop of the seller that sells them, the legit ones, the official ones. Because if, and I know we are all looking for a good sale and a discount, we all do that. Even I did it in the past. Um, but it would mean that I have to stop designing because no seller will buy a new design from me. You guys will not get new designs. Then you have to go back to working with stolen designs or buying other brands. And I wouldn't mind that. That's not something I would mind. But yeah, please, if the only favor you want to do to me is not buy dice on Temu or Shine, if I hear how they treat the sellers, if I hear how much profit they are making, that's not doable. Nobody can live of profit after so much effort of 10 to 14 cents. That's not doable. That's not reasonable. Um, I can't force you guys. I only can ask you politely. And if you still buy them on Temu, okay, it's your call. But it will eventually mean that I have to stop doing this. And I can get a job. That's no problem. I have a good pair of brains, and I'm able to do stuff. So it's not that I can't get a job, but I started doing this to stop at, because back then there was no Shine and there was no Timu. Excuse me. But I started this, and you can check that uh, in my older videos. I was thinking what I wanted to say, but you can check that. I started this because so many designs of so many popular brands were stolen, and I hated the fact that they did that. So then, back then, I contacted a few AliExpress sellers, told them that I was able to make designs if they wanted to work with me, so they could stop stealing designs and sell their own legit designs. Um, but yeah, now there is a new factor, and that's called Timu and Shine, and they make it almost impossible for not only me but also all the sellers that I work for to continue doing their business. And yeah, I would find that very disappointing. No, sad. Sorry, my brain is going everywhere. And I hope the sellers forgive me for doing this video. I know I don't have to ask approval for doing anything that isn't an honest story, but I want to be respectful. So some things I would not tell purely out of respect. And that's something I talked about before. We all have like cultural differences, things you are used to, how you've been brought up. And I noticed over the years that things in America and in the Netherlands are totally different, but also in China are totally different. I know things that I never knew about marriages in China or about financial things, how they work in America, or and um, out of that respect for everybody's culture, I do not tell everything, but I do tell the things that I think it's honest, fair, and important to know if you make a choice where to buy your cutting dies and stumps and stencils and so on. So your craft supplies. Um, I hope this all was clear. If not, please leave me a comment, ask me a question, and I will see if I can answer the question with keeping the respect of the cultural differences in mind. Oh, these types of videos are hard when you want to be respectful, but also want to be open and let people know how things work. I didn't know. And I have something like, I want you guys to know too. So that's why I made this video. And do with it whatever you want to do with it. Please keep it in mind. And yeah, I can't force anybody. But now I know this about Timu. I will be way more careful what I buy there and rather buy on AliExpress because what I noticed is that AliExpress is way better to their sellers and buyers than Temu is. I have to be honest, I bought some things on Temu as a buyer, like stuff for around the house. Um, and I have sent two things back, but if I know now that a seller is going to be fined, yeah, fined, um, so punished 5 times. If I give them a bad review, that's not something I want to do to them either. Especially when I know they make so little profit, and for Timo, it's only a win-win situation. If they sell, they win. If the seller doesn't sell, Timo will find them. I think that's not doing a great business. But that's my opinion, and you do not have to be uh, or you do not have to share my opinion. You're entitled to your own. I only want to tell what I found out. So, with all respect, that's what I meant to say. Ah, thank you, Lucinda. Thank you so much. I wish you all a nice day. Thank you for joining me. And again, if you have questions, let me know. I'm always willing to answer them. Um, I just needed to get this out of my brain and get people informed. So hopefully, people aren't upset or angry at me that I do this video. I mean it with the utmost respect to all of you. As a token of you are all supporting me so long for so many years. A big kiss from me and have a great day. Bye bye.